how to realistically increase your webinar attendance. So, have you ever been so excited to conduct your webinar because you had a good number of people register for your webinar, but to your sadness, only a few people, let's say 10, 20 people, actually came in for your webinar? So, on an average as well, there is only 35 to 40% who register show up for webinars. And for people who do not have proper flow setup, it is as less as 20%. So imagine you're coming in the webinar with so much excitement because you have 100 people register and then there is only 15 or 20 people show up. That is quite disheartening, right? So much money, time, energy is spent on getting registration, but we are wasting around 60 to 65% of the hard work because people are not showing up in the webinar, right? So let's see. In today's video, we'll just go through the exact same thing. How do we get back those 60 to 70% of the hard work that we have been doing that has been just losing because we've not been doing few tricks and tweaks that we could potentially do. So I've helped over dozens of people now with webinars, and almost everyone has their full focus on trying to get more registration. And almost no one has post registration flow, or the maximum they have is the welcome email sequence, right? And the reminder that goes 3 days, 1 day, 1 hour, all those reminders. So that is the maximum they usually have, right? So when I'm auditing for webinars, I like to spend a good deal of time trying to see where the hard work has actually been slipping away, and it's almost always in the post registration carelessness, or generally just ignore that because we feel like nothing much could be done, right? So in this today's short training, we'll see how to increase webinar attendance after someone has registered, and then we'll see three spot breakdown to improve your attendance rate. So let me put the focus here is this training today, this video is not on how to increase the webinar registration, right? This is not to get someone to register, but this is purely to increase the attendance rate. So if you're looking to get more webinar registration, I'm doing a video next week on the same. So maybe you want to subscribe or stay updated with my social media for the next video. But today it is all about how to get more people to attend your event, right? So for your ease, I've just broken down into three spots so you can easily visualize, and it's easier to say right after registration what are the things you need to do. From the time someone is registered till the time before the event, what are the activities that you can do? And third one is things that you can do right before your event. Okay. So, part one, that is right after registration. So, the main goal here is to prepare and engage your audience. So, there are four things that we can do here. That is a thank you page with the registration bonus. So, almost everyone has a thank you page. And let's see what are the things we can add in the thank you page to make this thing slightly more effective. Second one is welcome email sequence. Everyone has this, but let's see what other things you can add there to make it even more effective. Third one is add to calendar feature. This is something I have not seen lots of coaches utilizing. They just mention in their emails, please add it to the calendar. And you have to assume your audience are the laziest people ever. So you just have to give one click button where your audiences can just click on that and it gets added to their calendar directly, right? And things that are in the calendar is what actually turns out to happen, right? And fourth one is personalized DM. I have not seen many coaches or many personal brands, anybody actually do this. And this is by far the most effective. So let's go through it one by one. So first one is thank you page. So what usually happens in thank you page is, congratulations for registering in. So good to see you. The things are in the email. So that is usually what I see with thank you pages. How you can make these small changes, because thank you pages are the first impression they get right after hitting that register button, right? So it plays a very important role in setting the right expectation. So, small tweaks that you can make in a thank you page are you can have a recorded video and explain how transforming their life, business, relationship, whatever you're doing with your webinar is going to be after the attend, right? So, a very short introduction on that. Second one is you should have a bonus that immediately that they can get immediately after registering. And instead of giving their bonus in the emails directly, if you ask them to send you a DM in your Instagram or your Facebook, where they can see your stories and also be updated with your social media, is where you are getting them from being cold people who just registered to coming to your social media and messaging you, right? So instead of have a bonus for registering, but have it in such a way that they come and speak to you. Fourth one is explain the power of the bonus that they get for attending the live session. So here I've already talked about two bonus that is very important for you to increase your webinar attendance. First one is bonus they get right away, which starts nurturing them to attend the webinar. Second one is bonus they get exclusively just for coming live in the session, right? The fifth one is again, as I said, have a button in the thank you page itself so that they can click on it and add to their calendar. For the next one is what all can they do to prepare for the session. So the video also can be you can also talk a little bit about this, and the rest of the video can be all about how so and so people have got so and so transformation from attending similar event. So if you have not done any similar event in the past, you can say is from applying the same strategies that you have been teaching elsewhere as well, right? So another one is again, then you want to focus more on your thank you page. These are all the elements that you can speak in the video, and rest of your thank you page could be as you usually have. And you can also put the bonus visually, like all the good benefits of the bonus and how they can use it immediately, or things that they can do. And you can also mention that the bonus is where they're experiencing 1%, 5%, 10% of the transformation which they are getting in the full webinar. So this also sets the expectation that the webinar that they're attending has certainly more value and further pushes them to attend the webinar, right? So if you already have anything that you've prepared for your webinar, you can also add in, sneak peek of that so that it further builds that anticipation. Okay. So the next thing is the welcome email sequence. So we all have, if you've set up your welcome email sequence, what usually it is done is, we're glad to have you. These are the links. So that is what I've usually seen happening, right? So when I'm auditing, people have first email that goes right after somebody registers, and then you have 3 days, 2 days, 1 day left. Some people just have the welcome, we're glad to have you email, right? So it's very easy for people to forget, right? And what you can do even in the welcome email sequence is, instead of going with we're glad to have you registration confirmed, use that email to tap into the pain point or goal of your audience. So instead of saying we're glad to have you, you can say your next $10,000 is confirmed, right? So what it is doing is it is revalidating the emotion through every touch point that you're getting, right? And then next thing that your welcome email has to give, it is very necessary, is the date, time, and clearly the joining links, right? Another email that you can put is again on the reminder about the registration bonus and how the bonus that they're getting in the webinar live is going to be way more transforming, right? So another thing is what you can go with your emails is why it matters, right? Explain the bigger transformation by they get by just attending live, right? And you can connect it with the end goal of your webinar. And this fifth one is, I think, something lots of people miss, and I've not seen this happening whenever I'm auditing any webinars, is ask them if they have any particular concerns that they would love you to cover in a webinar. So you might not be able to cover, you might be able to cover. What you can, by asking this question, and you'll first get lots of ideas on the direct pain point. Second is, when somebody feels like my concern is being covered in a webinar, there are high chances that they would attend the webinar live, right? So even if we are sending Q&A somewhere, we do listen to the Q&A because we know our concerns are directly being addressed. So by doing this as well, we have been seeing lots of increase in webinar attendance. So try these five different tweaks in your current welcome sequence to get more webinar registration. Okay, so the next one is, as I mentioned, add to calendar feature plus time conversion link if you're doing international event where people are joining from different countries, right? Or different time zones. So, most people just say is, add this to your calendar, and people are not going to do it themselves, right? So there are lots of app out there, lots of ways out there to create a link that would or it's a downloadable file, or there are lots of ways to create a direct calendar event that they can do one click and it gets added to their calendar. And second one is global time conversion event. You can easily find lot of them in the if you just Google it, one click away. And instead of trying to make your audience attendees do the work, you spend 10-15 minutes in trying to create this, send it via emails, and then it is way more better. So the last one that you'll have to immediately do, that is in your to get more attendees, is personalized DM. So there are two ways in how you can start the DM. That is, first one is, as I said, from the thank you page and email when they are asking for registration bonus. That is when you're starting the personalized DM. Second one is when they join your community. So webinars perform the best when there is a community linked with the webinar, right? Or when I say webinar, it is usually for all trainings or master classes, everything right there, right? Workshop. So when it is linked with the community. So when somebody joins the community, again, you can reach out to them personally as well. All right. So this is what we had for the part one. So part two is, they've just registered and everything is done, right? They've received their emails, they've added to the calendar, they've sent you their first message. Now comes the gap between when they registered, right? And when the event is. So it depends on how long the gap is. For some people, it is, 10-15 days. For some people, it might be even a month. For some, it might just be a week if they're registering towards the end, right? So these are the four things we can do to increase the registration. We can utilize that gap to increase the attendance rate. So first one is nurturing sequence. Second one is community nurturing. Third one is retargeting ads. And fourth one is one-on-one conversation. So let's go through it quickly. First one is the nurturing sequence. So the nurturing email sequence is different from the welcome email sequence. So welcome, it's just you providing in the important information, and it is not real time live emails, right? So nurturing sequence is has two measurables. One is to build anticipation, that excitement, and second one is to nurture them through authority, right? So by building anticipation, excitement, we can do it by showing behind the scene, we can tell our story, we can attract to our personality, right? And the authority building sequence is where you're providing furthermore resources, details, information that positions you as an authority or the dominating figure in your industry, right? So that is what you'll have to further integrate into your system for post webinar, is add nurturing sequence, which is a combination of something that builds anticipation and something that further educates them while positioning you as an authority. So second thing that you should be doing is the community connection. right? So as soon as somebody enters your community, there should be a pin message where you are introducing yourself, your expertise, and the group's overall purpose, right? And time and again, what you can do is share short questions, polls related to the webinar topic. So what is the biggest challenge with XYZ, right? Whatever your webinar is about. And if you have a month's time, for example, you can keep sharing quick facts, small videos that you record towards again taking them further, nurturing them into the webinar's topic. Another very important thing that is that actually attracts people towards your lifestyle, along with being attracted towards you, is posting informal updates about webinar. So for example, I've written here is just finalized slides because my son went out with nanny. So if your community has lots of mothers out there, they can really relate with this, right? And it just relatability brings people closer in community, right? So you can again say, I got 5 new ideas for the upcoming webinar while I was doing my morning walk today. How often do you get ideas in while going for a jog or a run, right? So you can just build those informal updates. What we're doing here is we're again putting things that is relevant with the webinar, right? Slides, or let's say ideas for webinar, but also connecting it with personal life, so it becomes attractive to them through the personality as well, right? So another thing you can do is, because you'll already be sharing the resources, that is bonus pre event as well, you can, if somebody gets any breakthroughs, any positive um, feedback on the resources that you shared, you can highlight the group member's story or any events. Or at this point, you can also even add your previous clients with their permission, of course. And then you can start building that momentum of sharing the wins. So when people see that what you're teaching is getting wins inside the community, them attending the event is furthermore validated, right? So again, another one is, this is something very important and it's fun, and it really increases webinar attendance, is pre-event call. So you can do is you can go quick, you can have quick calls in between in the community before the event, where you're maybe sharing 10 minutes, 15 minutes of something to warm up further for your event, right? Another one is, along with all the reminders that goes with emails and everywhere, if you're sending emails just in the WhatsApp community or Facebook community, WhatsApp is what I usually love, is because open rate is higher. So you can just share the link to your Zoom, to your webinar, right in the WhatsApp community 2 or 3 minutes before the event as well, right? And again, how you can utilize the community is, maybe 30 minutes before the event, you can just go in the community and say, I'm preparing for our session starting in 30 minutes. I'm preparing with the coffee. What are you all preparing with? Have you had a lunch? So it just indirectly, informally warms up while building connection with you as well, right? So these are the very tiny tweaks, but trust me, it really increases your webinar attendance a lot. So the next thing that we have here is the retargeting ads, right? So what you can do is, using the retargeting ads, you can target just the people who have registered for your event, and then show them ads that explain how transformative attending live is. You can get testimonials from your previous client, previous attendees. Show it to them that how attending live is way more helpful than just attending or getting the recordings, anything in that direction, right? So you can use the ads to first build that connection. Build, show the testimonial. Another one is you can also use ads to indirectly show that 2 days left, 3 days left. Today is the event date, so they're getting reminders from all ends, and do not shy away from sending reminders from all ends. So, as I mentioned previously as well, one-on-one conversation. So, right after somebody register, you're starting the one-on-one conversation, right? But throughout the period is where you'll have to have the conversation throughout. So what you can do is voice notes. You can send voice notes. You can ask them what was the reason because of which they're joining the event. And uh, if a lot of time people have emotional reasons to join, you can validate the emotions. You can, if they have some problems and you've already had some resources in the past, you can give them some resource to start nurturing them right away as well, right? And then you can just send voice note before your event as well, maybe one day before or the same morning as much as visible. Or you can start sending 2 days ahead, like you're really excited to finally meet them in the event that you've been having conversation for, 1 week, 2 week, 3 weeks now, and it's finally time to meet them, right? So these one-on-one conversation, it feels like a friend is inviting. And uh what happens is when we know somebody personally, we attend events more. And when you've already had one-on-one conversation with people, even the event, the webinar becomes so lively because people are having conversation there, they're replying to what you're asking, the engagement questions, and it becomes really lively, right? So now is the part three, that is right before the webinar. So goal of this stage is to just prepare and get them. I actually forgot to update it. Is to just set the right reminder. Right, this is all about reminders. This at this stage. So let's go through all of these for one by one. First one is incentives for attending live. So what you'll have to do toward the end of your end of your promotional phase is promote and talk more about the resources that they are getting for attending live. So your focus should shift from how powerful your webinar is to slightly more towards how powerful the resource that you're providing just for the webinar attendees are, right? Because somebody has registered, mean they probably already know how powerful your webinar is. But if you focus more on how powerful your bonus is, then that is where you get more attendance as well, right? So you can use highlight the benefits of the bonuses in all of your social media, in your events, in everywhere that you're doing in your community, right? Focus more towards the benefit of your bonus. Uh, Another thing that you can further do is remove replays, because whenever people know that there is a replay, the number of people who attend live significantly decreases, and people do not watch replay that much as well, right? So focusing on the word that there is no replay for the event that they registered is again another way to increase the webinar attendance. uh, Another thing that I'd like to use is date hook. So you can use memorable dates like 11/11, 7/7, and use that as hook everywhere, right? So while signing off an event, see you on 7/7. Or even if it's not that 7/7, you can always use the date hook. See you on 7/12. See you on 14/14. 14/14 is not there. 14/12, right? Something like that. So use a date hook. You can use it in all of your stories, social media, signing off everywhere. So people subconsciously also remember the date that they need to attend the event, right? So another, very important, most people use it is the event countdown, right? So what you can further do with the event countdown is include a troubleshoot link, right? For example, by troubleshoot link, I mean something. What to do if the link does not open at the last moment, right? So some questions and simple FAQs that would help you to prevent no shows, right? So you can share the event countdown through email, SMS, all of your social media. And along with the countdown, you can also use as a very strong behind the scene what you have been doing for, because it's just 1 hour left. How are you preparing? Because it's just one day left. What are the changes you're doing in your life to build for that special event, right? So you can also do is go live in your other social media platform like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and then invite everybody there. Just show them, this is what I did today for the major event tomorrow. So what is happening here is people are being taken through a journey along with you. And when people are being involved at every step, they would then join your event, right? So the last thing here is, in your final email, you should not be having again lots of things like what to expect and all. The final event should just have the link to join, the time, and how they can prepare. Like for example, just come with a paper and a pen, right? Here's the link, come with the paper and pen. The last email should be way more simplified, right? So if I have to summarize this short training, part one, right after registration, thank you page with the bonus and the videos. Welcome email sequence, make the necessary tweaks instead of the generalized email. Very important, add to calendar feature, personalized DM starts here. Second one is nurturing email sequence that shows behind the scene, that gives proper educational content while positioning you as an authority. Then retargeting ads to show the excitement. Then another typo here, I make lots of typo. Instead of one-on-one ads, it should be one-on-one conversation, which is what builds that connection that people attend. And right before the webinar, you're focusing more on incentives that people get for life. You're removing replays, you're using date hooks, and you're using event countdowns. 1 week left, 3 days left, 2 days left, 1 day left, 1 hour left. We have started. So that is all for this short training. And there could be some things that you've already applied here, there could be some things that you've not applied, there could be some things that you've not done properly. So do give these all a try. These are the things that I've done with lots of my clients for whom I've been doing webinars, and this has really improved the show up rate as well. So if you also want me to help you, you can just message me in my Instagram, and I can help you set up the entire thing as well. Thank you, and I'll see you next week with the video on how to increase your webinar registration.